I wanted to give you an example of how we can pull all of the information that we've been learning together in a real world situation. And I'm going to use an experience from earlier in my own career to just show you the power and the importance of having a clear strategy, a clear mission, and using the decision framework that I've already introduced to you. So for this, I'm going to draw upon an actual experience that I had probably about 25 years ago now, when earlier in my career, I was living in Tokyo, Japan, and I was working for a company that specialized in internet investing, right? Basically allowing people in Japan and in different countries to take control of their own financial futures, to save and to invest online. Now, the concept of investing online using the internet is nothing new for us today, but 25 years ago, it was very new. And several companies were really trying to increase people's comfort level with investing using the internet. And that is what one of my earliest jobs after college was focused on. So let me start just by, and I'm going to draw largely from reality. I've changed some things just to make it a little bit more interesting for this discussion, but this is largely based on a real situation from 25 years ago, a real business decision that my company had to make. And so we started again by using the principles of mission statements and strategies to be very clear with our team what the goal, what the purpose, what the mission of our company actually was. And our mission was to empower Japanese investors to make their own investment decisions with confidence. What do we mean by investment decisions? It was how much money to save, where to put the money they save, if they were interested in purchasing stocks or bonds, how they could do that using the internet. Okay, so the mission was to empower individuals to make their own investment decisions with confidence. And we said that our vision was a world where investors could use high quality tools online to make their own decisions with confidence. Okay, so our mission and our vision. Our strategy is we were going to deliver research tools, educational content, and investment services so that investors who had at least $100,000 could invest in Japanese products and US products. Okay, so very, very clear strategy. Why is it clear? Well, it's clear because we're zeroing in on people who have only a certain amount of savings or more, and we're zeroing in on people who are interested in investing in the US and Japan. Okay, it's a very, very clear target. And we're also clear in the how we're going to be successful. We're going to be successful by educating people online, and we're going to be successful by delivering research and advice to people to help guide them in their decision process. And then we also said we're going to have three very specific goals that are going to guide us over the next few years. Goal number one is we want our business to be different from the business of our competitors. In other words, we want to stand out as better than our competitors. We want to do something different, new, and refreshing compared to our competitors. Number two, we wanted to give our customers something more than just Japanese investments, right? Remember, we were operating in Japan, but we wanted to give them the access to the rest of the world, specifically the United States, if they wanted to invest their money in the US. And then the third thing we said is, look, we don't want to make any silly mistakes. You can picture our company. There was a lot of processing that was going on. And if any of you are familiar with how banks and other financial companies process things, sometimes there could be a lot of manual work, people punching computers, people typing things, people moving paper back and forth. And sometimes these processes are very prone to errors and mistakes. So we said, we don't want to make too many errors, because if we make errors in processing people's money, we could lose a lot of money. So we said, we don't want to make any operational errors that are going to cost us more than $10,000. Okay, so very, very clear goals. Differentiate our business within a year, expand beyond Japanese investments, and don't make any silly mistakes that are going to cost us more than $10,000. Very clear. So it's in that context that I want to talk to you about a decision and how we applied the decision framework that you're learning in this course. And as I paint the picture, let me explain to you how the company operated. So there were three main teams in the company. Each of the teams were motivated by something very different, but let me explain to you what those teams were. The first team was a sales team, and the sales team was focused on increasing revenue, getting new customers, satisfying the customers who we already have. And they were focused on making more money, bringing in more profits for the company. That was their goal. Then we had another very important team called the operations team. As more customers came into the company, the operations team had to process more activity. They had to process accurately. So their jobs got harder when we brought in more business and we added more customers. The sales team wanted a lot of new customers. The operations team, yeah, they wanted new customers too, but they knew that if we got too many customers, their work would double and triple because they'd have to process more activity. And so the operations team was always afraid of making a mistake because they were the ones doing all of the work, so to speak, in making the investments, moving the money, processing the paperwork, inputting entries into the computer, etc. And then the third group was the risk management group. The risk management group really wanted to keep risks low. They didn't want to have any losses in the company. And of course, they wanted to protect the company from any financial damage. Now, all of these three teams had extremely important roles. And it was the leader's job to figure out what the right balance was across these three objectives. Yes, getting new customers and making profit is important, but it's equally as important to make sure we can process the activity safely and securely. And if we're not careful, we could be taking on too many risks and the company might make a loss. We might not be able to handle all of the activity if we grow too quickly, for example. So it was the job of the leader to take input from all of these teams, to respect their input, but to figure out what the right balance was across these three somewhat competing groups. And this is very, very common if you're in a leadership position. Some of your stakeholders are going to be driven by and motivated by very different things, and it may be your job to figure out the right balance at the right time.